Is this thing on? Is it? Yes, it is. All right. Hi, welcome to another episode of NextGen AI. I'm your host, DJ Singley with MAPSYS, and today we're going to talk about IBM's Visual Insights tool, what used to be known as Power AI Vision. Now, this is an unbelievable tool, it really is. It makes and enables a user to create AI vision-based models incredibly easy. Incredibly easy. Wait until you see what you can do with this tool. I'm really excited to show you. And guess what, folks? No code. No code. You'll probably wrap a lot of code around it in Perl or Python or something. But certainly no code right up front, which is really nice. So upon loading up the tool, which runs on either an IBM Power-based system with a GPU or now Intel-based systems with GPUs, you're presented with a login screen, of course. Now, what's the default login screen for most IBM products? It's admin, and what's the password? It's password, PASSW0RD. Enter. Outstanding. Okay, so I'm going to take you through a kind of a trite example, really, that I put together with pictures of my family, right? So let me show you what to do here. So this particular software has these four basic tenets of usage, right? You create a data set, you prepare your data, you train your model, and you deploy your model. Okay. Now, what they've also added recently is this concept of a project, and I'm going to click here real quick. So when I click on the project, I see the one project that I created, which is my Singley family identification. So I'm going to click on this so you can see what's in here. And what I put in here was a bunch of the assets that I have for this project. Because if many data scientists are using this, then you're going to have many different projects, and you don't want to, get confused about which assets belong to which project. So here are my data sets, of which I have 4 or 5, and I also have 5 models that I trained on these data sets. Okay. Before I go any farther, let's look up the very top here. You see this GPU usage portion up here? Well, there's no virtualization of GPUs in this product, and so what that means is that one model training can use one complete GPU, and also when you deploy models for inferencing, that uses one complete GPU. They do that for many reasons. The biggest reason is you want this thing to go as fast as possible. This is a very heavyweight tool. You don't want to be using 10 model trains on the same GPU. That would be a bad idea. So. All right, let's continue to take a look at what's going on here. So I'm going to click on data sets at the very top here, just so I can show you the very beginnings of how to do things, right? You can see all my data sets that I have here, and I created one called example. Well, let's create another one. I'm going to create one called example 2. Bam. Okay, so you see this, example 2. I'm going to click it, and then I will be able to drag and drop my files here, video files or picture files. When you're dropping video files in there, you basically take frames out of the video file, make pictures of them in order to then do inferencing on that. Of course, you can use that same model with the video feed when you get it. So with this here, I don't have any pictures I'm going to drop in here exactly. So that's just how you do it. In this particular one, I'm going to get out of here and go to one that I've already done a lot of work on. Let's just say this, Singley one right here. Okay, so you can see pictures of my kiddos and family members and all sorts of stuff like that here. My mother, how funny is that? She's in one of the videos. It's awesome. So there's a couple things at the top here that you can see. First off, when you bring in a picture, you're going to want to label all the folks in the picture. Okay, either this was auto-labeled for me or I went in there and labeled it myself. It's very easy. You click on this label objects thing. It brings you the tool. Here's all the labels. And I have 2 different ways of labeling objects. I can use a box, right? Or I can use a polygon. Polygon would be much more accurate. Okay, as I draw exact polygons, many-sided geometric shapes around an object. So that would be a really good way to do it. So labeling can be done by anybody, no matter what you're doing. It doesn't need a data scientist. In fact, it wouldn't be a really great usage of their time to do labeling. Labeling is something that any employee with knowledge in what they're labeling could do, which is really important. After that, I have this interesting thing called the augment data button here. And here's where I can rotate, blur all these images, add noise, add flips, whatever. And what this does is enriches your data set. So you have much more data to train your model on. So beautiful idea, really great. You should do it eventually. And then I could also do an auto label. I'd pick a model, which I only have one. Okay, I have 2 models. deployed right now. And then I probably don't want to use 0.5 confidence threshold, maybe 0.85 or 8, I don't know. And then I could go through and auto-label a model. Why would you want to do that? Well, let's say I partially train one model and I have a huge data set. I'm adding more and more pictures. Well, now I can take some of the work off of me of labeling the images and let the models label the images. And then I'll just go back through and correct any of the mistakes that they did. So that's really good, time saver, very, very nice. I like that a lot. Okay. And then export data set. I don't want to do that. I spent too much time getting the data in here. So it looks pretty good. Okay, so that's real basic how you get the data in here. Okay. The train model is probably the most exciting thing here that you're going to do. Now, unfortunately, I have 0 GPUs available because I have a deployed model. I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. When I train a model, rather, I have to name the model. Okay, so this one's named Singley model. All right. Well, I can I change the name, and then I'll pick what kind of model I'm going to do. An image classification model, an object detection model, an action detection model, and these use all sorts of different technologies under the cover. Like this particular one uses a structured segment network, SSN, right? Or when I do object detection, which a lot of folks do within the stuff that I work with, you have all these different options: Tiny YOLO, Detectron, single shot detector, this type of stuff. And depending on what options you pick, they may run on the, if you're using the IBM Visual Inspector iPhone application, the model may run either on the inference server or it would run directly on the iPhone itself. So it's pretty great. Okay. I'm not going to train a model right here. That takes quite a little bit of time. Also, there's some advanced settings here, which you can put some hyperparameters in here. And for those data scientists out here, I'm sure that you'll understand that way better than I will, for sure. Okay, so that's your model. Trains your model. When it's done, it notifies you, and then you have all these different models out there. I don't have any custom assets. I'm not going to talk about that much. Okay, so here are my deployed models. Okay, so I'm going to just show you what this means, right? One of these is deployed on the CPU. One of them is deployed on the GPU. So I could actually select them both and say undeploy, right? So I'm going to stop deploying them. So they're going to be no deployed models here. Now look at this over here, the GPU usage. You see how it still says 1. Well, I'm just going to refresh that a little bit. And it still says 0 available, probably because it's taken some time to take the model down. I will come back over here real quick on the models just to show you again how to deploy a model. Let's take this one, for example. When I click here, I can then export it so I could use it somewhere else. So I'm going to say deploy. I can either deploy it on the GPU or the CPU. So I'll just say let's deploy it in the CPU, and then click deploy. And there's my one model that's being deployed. It says deploy in progress. So there you go. Looks pretty good. Model deploy is complete. Fantastic. And look at this. The undeploy has finished as well here. See the GPU usage says 0, 1 available. So if I went back over to models as well, I could click another one. This one, how about? Say deploy model. And I might want to deploy this one on the GPU because it runs faster. And there we go. And that's it. That is really it, folks. We use this tool to then iterate over more data and to train on more data and to create our models in this very easy point-and-click way. Once we get those models out, we can set them on FPGAs, set them on Raspberry Pis, set them on iPhones, or set them on large inference servers like what IBM has and other vendors has. And it's an unbelievable tool. This tool is unbelievable. When people first see this and see how easy, unbelievably easy it is, you wrap a little bit of Python code around here and you can do just about anything. Unbelievable. So one quick note though, when you deploy the models, you can hit these models now with API calls directly to the server, which is pretty great. All that is documented on IBM's website. So if you want to see more about visual insights, ring me up or send me an email, and we can arrange that. I can show you what else you can do with it. All right. Well, listen, it's been fun. Thanks so much for watching. We'll have plenty more for you in the coming weeks. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.